I could have touched her, but I didn't. I had a knife. She was scared, but I didn't do that.
He admitted that he had the knife. I think she just had an epiphany. What's going on? It's your boy Syntell with the Intel, and you can already see Rekkai is in the building. What's going on, champion?
Hello, Governor.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. This is Adolescence. We have made it to episode 3. This is probably one of the more interesting series I have seen since 24. Little ditty that came out in the early 2000s that did some interesting stuff with recording and quote unquote real time. This show is still #1 on Netflix. It even beat out a Shonda Rhimes project. That's one of those things that you don't really see all the time. It is also #1 on IMDb for all things media. That includes television and movies. People are loving Adolescence. I can't wait to hear what you all think about it. Rekkai, what are your thoughts?
I'm liking where this is going so far. I kind of wish that we would go on and get to the point, like figure out some of the why.
Okay.
Or what, if that's even a thing. So
hey, that is fair. Listen, that is all the more reason for you to stick around to the very end, because you already know me and Rekkai. We're gonna chop it up, have a bit of a back and forth over the things that we enjoy and over some of the things that we may be scratching our heads over. So without any further ado, let's get started.
we have the doom.
We have the dooms. Now, with the popularity of this show, I wonder if it's so beloved because of the gimmicky way that it's shot, or is it really truly because of the story? Curious what you all think in the chat.
I'll fire up the megaport.
Who is this woman? Maybe she's a prosecuting attorney.
Yeah, it's just bruising and scratching.
I read the report.
Both blame the other?
No, I know, I read the report.
Now, when is this again?
I don't know yet.
You know what you're going to say in the report?
I wouldn't be here if I knew that.
Well, the other one.
It's 7 months later. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just being an idiot.
No, I didn't know. That's just the way I work.
Right, it's Jamie in place.
So this is 7 months later, and that's Jamie's in the juvenile detention.
What is wrong with this dude?
He's standing there grinning. Yeah, I was like, hey, I know I'm a guard here, but I'm really a stalker in my free time.
He got the hey, how you doing lean. Is that sugar? My God. Oh, marshmallows. How you bring your own marshmallows?
You've got a torture lab in the basement?
What?
Oh, very hush hush. What are they?
He likes his hot chocolate with marshmallows on.
That's his attempt at being funny, I think.
Oh, it's not for her. It's for Jamie.
I love it. I don't know about pickle though, but I love it.
Cheese and pickle. I mean,
When you make butties, do you?
no,
What, you think that's weird?
no meat on it.
I don't mind hot.
You're looking better than last time.
What's that supposed to mean?
He looks happier.
It's a good voice.
No.
Do you see your grandparents much?
He's got a smile. He's got some humor.
Bet you call him Grandpa.
I do not.
I bet you do.
I call him Pop Pop.
What?
No, pop.
I love it later. It's just the pickle. Hate it.
You hate it.
What? Pickles are the best
I
part.
really messed up then.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Worst part.
Ah, boo you.
Your dad doesn't go to the pub.
No, not really. Not as much as my pop.
Nah.
Nah.
No, banana picking. Obviously, it was on holiday.
Can't just help being an ass.
Is this right, Jamie? Do you know whether this is wrong, Jamie? Now you're just chatting shit.
Are the kids observant?
Now you're, what do you call bread?
Come on.
It just feels like a trick.
Trick? Trick into what?
He's smart.
Okay, I know.
Just talking about him. There isn't a need.
Protective.
I don't know.
It's too big a question, right? And the fight's too small a question.
What you wrote, how you wrote it.
Nope. You're not that in charge. Does your dad like his job?
That's interesting, considering how these kids live and die off of text and written word.
Lisa did too, then Mum sent us upstairs. He's not like that most of the time.
He's in a proper rage.
Quiet rage.
Sorry.
I don't know. Ashamed.
Hear the wind. You see how the frame's getting darker?
When you saw that, shame.
You're supposed to say he wasn't.
Am I?
Yeah.
No, it's supposed to be like his psyche, like more
But you
the
just thought
deeper
that,
he
Jamie.
goes, the darker.
Oh, isn't what you
he's
really
getting.
think?
Yeah, it was done on purpose.
Other people said that to you.
It's just the right thing to say.
Isn't it lying?
Yeah.
Yes, it's part of my assessment.
How is he?
He's okay. He's sad you're here. I can't say more than that.
His posture changed when he mentioned his dad being okay. Now he's back to slumping again. This little kid is really good.
It's wrong
This actor.
that I'm in here.
Yeah. I don't think he's very experienced either. I think he's
Just raw talent.
Can you get me out of this place?
I'm afraid I'm of no use to you there.
Oh,
A better facility wasn't available.
putting me in a madhouse.
It's a secure training centre.
Training.
Decided yet
Do you know where it's going to be? London or somewhere local?
down. You need to sit down.
You'd have to go home and then come back again.
Jamie, if you do not sit
Look out! You want to sit down? You do not control what I do in my life. Get that in that fucking little head of yours. Now.
Is everything
My
okay?
goodness. And that came from a child.
Do you want him taken out for a bit?
I'll get a cup of tea though, if that's okay.
Can I have another hot chocolate, please?
You had the audacity to ask that right after that? Wow. Woo. Now, that's a glaring statement right there coming from a child. Imagine a grown man having a tirade like that.
yeah, but coming from a child, it's not that hard to fathom. I mean, he is accused of stabbing a girl 7, 10 times or some shit. So you got to see what pushes his buttons. What, you know what I'm saying? Like that conversation pushed him there. And they have to make the determination, would he go off the rails enough to, you know?
There's no audio.
That's fine, can I? Look.
Of course. Mi casa is your casa.
He's just an awkward dude.
Yeah, that dude's creepy.
What are you seeing? I mean, what is it you're looking for? Is it body language?
She back the hell up. That's what I'm looking for.
Just I'm reading a book on that at the moment. My sister gave it to me.
Dude, man, go away for a moment, please.
Maybe they tell the truth with their bodies. Faces.
Yes, maybe.
Yes. Whatever. Shut the hell up.
Do you want a job swap? What's your hours? What's your wages?
He just needs some attention. Dude, go away, man.
I hate mine. So you're probably best off.
Oh, you see Jamie's body language? It looked like he
to
might
help.
have felt
Thank you.
Sure.
something.
Thanks.
Remorse, maybe?
It's cathartic.
I don't know.
I don't know. Was it?
I don't know.
I don't know. It looked like to me that he was like leaned back with his hands up. Like
Well-
it felt cathartic. Like I got that out. Ah, my bad. You know, when people don't have them proper outlets.
I thought I saw him hold himself for a hot second.
I'm not a police officer. I'm not here to elicit a confession. I'm just here to understand.
She moved the chair. She changed her tactic.
Jamie, I'm just trying to understand.
Understand. I know, but none of this has nothing to do with him.
Well, she's kind of chip at his pillar of masculinity in his father.
Yeah, the other shrink asks more normal questions, you know that.
Okay.
You want to know what he
I
asks?
can't, no. Jamie, my conclusions have to be independent.
Right, okay, won't say anything. I like them.
But you're not, like you say, particularly friends with them. Are you attracted to women?
Yeah, I'm not gay.
We've established you don't have a girlfriend. I don't think I asked before, would you like a girlfriend?
Yeah, who doesn't? What does that mean?
Well, would you take her out? If you did, where would you take her?
You know, I'm 13, right? Ain't got no damn money.
Would you want to kiss her?
Are you allowed to ask these questions?
Well, you don't discuss this in PSHE.
Say hell yeah.
What do you think is the normal amount someone your age would do sexually with a girl or boy?
You really want me to answer?
Yes, if you can.
No. touching, kissing. Touching her bits.
Her chest?
Yeah.
Her backside?
Are you sure you're allowed to ask these questions?
So, it's normal for a 13-year-old heterosexual boy to have engaged in touching of a girl's chest and her backside. Above or below clothes.
Rain came back.
Above, mostly. I've actually done all that. Kissing and touching. I've had 2 girls show me the tits, chest.
It's okay, you don't have to use my language.
And I touched them, so...
Okay?
Those were good days.
And one of them touched my knob through my trousers.
Oh. Ski.
And I think she liked it.
And you liked it?
Of course.
Call that a knob. That's funny.
Not really.
She said something. She said, you don't have to use my language. I thought that was interesting.
There's no right or wrong answer in this room, Jamie. You do know that. It's just your best attempt at the truth.
Best attempt at the...
Yeah. That didn't happen.
You weren't touched on your trousers.
No, I wasn't.
And did 2 girls go topless with you?
No, but... I've seen photos, though.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured he might have probably been lying.
Not porn. Everyone sees porn. Just these 2 girls in my year that I knew.
You saw photos of 2 girls in your year topless?
Yeah.
Would they be happy you saw those photos?
Everyone else did.
That's interesting. Somebody might have been passing
Was
pictures.
Katie one of those 2
Yep,
girls?
I was just about to ask. Was she one of them?
What? How'd you know that?
How did it feel to see that?
No, how'd you get...
How would you know that?
I asked it, and now I'd like to know what it
But he
felt
said
like
the
to
first
see
thing
her
he said
like
was,
that.
how would you
What,
know
you're asking
that?
whether I got a harder?
I'm asking how it felt.
I liked it. Are we allowed to talk like this?
How does it make you feel looking at naked pictures of people?
You're asking, are we allowed to talk like this?
In particular, how does it make you feel looking at naked pictures of people you know? Powerful? Do you feel like it gives you a power?
No. It's just weird.
Were you attracted to Katie?
She wasn't my type.
Lie.
She was quite... No offence, quite flat, you know.
Right?
Well, everyone else said it.
She's saying no offense. She's flat-chested.
The picture got passed around the school. Snapchat, you know. It was just her. Top half. Not anything else. She sent it to Fidget and then he sent it on.
Why did she send it to Fidget?
I don't know, she fancied him.
So she was trying to attract him.
Wow.
I think he asked her. He's not going to get any more pictures, though, is he?
Dang.
She's dead.
Damn.
Wow. That was super cold.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean from her. No one will send him any of her pictures because he wasn't careful with the one he got.
So you think he should have collected more pictures from more girls before he shared them with other boys?
Shouldn't have shared her.
Oh, why do you say she's dead like that?
Because she is. Jamie, I asked whether you were attracted to women. Do you think women are attracted to you?
There's a question.
What sort of question's that?
Well, what do you think? Do you think girls are attracted to you? Why, of course not.
Because I'm ugly.
Now we're getting to the root of it.
I'll say.
You thought I should have contradicted you when you said your dad was ashamed of you, and you think I should contradict you now when you tell me you think yourself ugly. I'm interested in the fact that you think you're ugly, Jamie.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated.
I'm interested in it because what you think is more important to me than what is true. So how do you feel about being ugly?
How would you feel? You don't know. You're pretty.
This isn't about me, Jamie.
What, you don't think you're pretty?
I'm not the interesting person in this room.
You're fucking putting words in my mouth! And I like a trap in here! You!
He spazzes the hell out.
Well, he's uncomfortable. She's making him ask uncomfortable questions. He doesn't know how to deal with that.
Hey, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. He's on.
Signal away like a queen, yeah?
He doesn't know how to process his own feelings. I mean, he's a child.
I need you to sit down.
Well, this interview's over.
Look at that. Look at that. See, that's the only way that he can understand stuff is to like push. It's to try to like put power over people.
I hate that. I hate that she jumped right there. I wish she had Kobe that shit. I wish that she had Kobe that shit.
I think she's feeling the same way right now.
Are you going to sit down?
I let a little bit of control go.
Uh-huh. She flinched. Don't flinch.
Being calm isn't doing nothing but pissing him off more.
Are you done?
I like that, but she shouldn't have flinched. But he's got the high ground. He's already standing over her. She should have anticipated it.
I will fucking sit down.
I mean, but there's different types of high ground. Like, he may have the physical high ground, but she's got the emotional high ground, the intellectual high ground.
Are you going now?
But she just gave up a lot in that flinch.
Are you going?
Would you like me to?
It's not to me, is it?
If you want me to go, Jamie, I can go.
But she get ready to redirect this shit to get that back. This is straight two. He just spazzed out.
You said in one of our previous sessions that you had friends, Tommy and Ryan, but that you wouldn't consider yourself popular.
Yeah.
You said you were bullied. The three of you were bullied.
People like you just love talking about bullying, don't you?
You said Tommy was called Round Pounds because his mum did her shopping at Poundland. And Ryan was called dumb.
Ryan is dumb. That one was sort of true.
People would spit on you from classroom windows. You'd be tripped up and pushed.
Yeah.
You were called names and you were physically abused.
No.
My question, Jamie, is why do you have an Instagram account?
What? To look at other people's accounts. You can't if you haven't got one.
Right. And you follow lots of women on Instagram, models. You don't need to put photos up, though. Why do you put photos up of yourself, I mean?
I don't know. Am I not allowed?
Yeah.
That's an interesting question.
To prove those bullies wrong by showing the fun you have with Tommy and Ryan?
No. There's no way I'm putting anything up of them. Seen anything like that, it's because my sister tagged me.
You might get into a conversation, make a new friend, meet a girl.
What? No. What are you on about?
Katie commented on your photos on a number of different occasions.
He must have really liked her.
What's this?
She's even closer now. That proximity's been getting shorter and smaller as we've been going.
Are you allowed to ask these questions? As Dylan passed these questions fit?
Yes. But if this makes you uncomfortable or you have any questions, there are people in this facility that can help you, okay? Katie wrote this on your Facebook feed.
Facebook?
Instagram.
Are you all right?
She wrote this on your
I mean, I'm
Instagram.
only 13. I don't think I look that scary.
Could you tell me what these emojis
Oh,
mean?
how embarrassing is that? Getting scared of a 13-year-old.
What do these emojis mean, Jamie? What do the kidney beans mean? They're kidney beans, right?
She's pretending like I'm part of one of those truth groups.
What truth groups?
Ones that say that women don't want us, we don't care. Everyone kept on going on about it. Incel stuff, so I had a look, but I didn't like it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Could you explain them all?
Want love, won't get it. Throat's killing. Red pill exploding. That's the same as the red pill. And then that's an 80-20 thing,
What's an 80-20 thing?
where 80% of women are attracted to 20% of men. I do think they're right about that, though.
Lots of people liked her comments quite a lot.
Yeah, they thought it was funny.
You must have found that quite cruel.
I suppose.
Did she do this to anyone else?
No.
Why did she do it to you?
Because I'm ugly.
Easy prey.
I don't know. I'm not what you say I am, or...
And what did she say?
She just smiled and said, okay, and walked away.
And you never thought to tell anyone what she was doing?
It's a bit like that now, isn't it?
It just must have hurt.
I didn't kill her. You think it is because you've seen the video. You can't trust videos anymore.
I'm not here to judge.
I didn't kill her. She was a bitch. Even you can see that. I should have killed her, but I didn't. I just... All I did was... Look at you. All hopeful, like when I say something important.
Good boys.
Or flat or whatever. So I thought when she was like that weak, she might like me. And I said I took her to the fair she liked.
Her weakness made her more gettable, was your theory? She was, let's say, attacking you for presuming you could ask her out.
It's your words.
You think they're unfair?
Doing all that. You think she's a bullying bitch. She was a bullying bitch, right? That's the thing, you see. That night, I didn't touch her. I could have touched her, but I didn't. I had a knife. She was scared, but I didn't do that.
He admitted that he had the knife.
Most boys would have touched her.
Yeah, but we already knew he had the knife too, because the little boy that ran said he gave him his knife.
I think she just had an epiphany. Yeah.
Is he blanking out? Because he keeps saying he didn't do it.
Well, I think she's realizing that, you know, this isn't necessarily, I mean, it is a child, but there's something deeper, more sinister. Now, like there's something monstrous within this kid.
The rain starting hard again. Every time it started raining harder, he flipped out. They say he started eating a sandwich.
I'm talking too much. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I didn't kill her.
Jamie, do you understand what death is? Do you understand that Katie's gone and she can't come back?
I didn't do it.
That whoever did kill her, they extinguished the possibility of her future life.
That was smart. She said, whoever did kill her.
You just didn't like me.
Listen, do you understand?
Yeah, I'm not dumb.
Do you understand that if you're found guilty of that crime, you'll be held in detention?
Who doesn't know
Do you
that?
understand who will make the decision about that? Jamie, this is our last session. But what I would encourage you to
Why?
do, whatever happens next, is take advantage of any mental health services that are offered to you.
Why?
Well, that's just what I think.
And then you come back. You see me.
Unfortunately, I'm needed elsewhere.
All of
Take
it.
what I said seriously. Thanks for your time. I'll ask Frank to come back in now.
Frank's my time.
Frank,
She got everything she needed.
Are you going to tell the judge all that?
I think you've spoken to me with honesty, yes, but all I'm advising the judge on is your
My
understanding.
understanding, yes. So it doesn't seem like a proper goodbye.
It is.
It doesn't seem like one. We haven't finished.
We have, thank you.
No,
Frank.
no. Can I ask you something? Do you like me?
These kids.
Don't you think like that then?
My job was to assess
Because I like you.
as a professional.
Not like that, not fancying you. Don't you even like me a bit? What did you think about me then? Decide, come on!
Was
Don't you go fucking tell anyone that I did it! Don't you dare!
Whoa, come on.
Don't you go... Don't you dare!
Hey,
Don't you even like me a bit?
Fletcher Frank.
What did you think about me then? Tell my dad I'm alright! Tell my dad I'm okay!
Tell my dad I'm all right. Tell my dad I'm okay. Single tear. Oh shit. She's scared?
That, yes. I think in parts, yeah. I don't know if she's like physically scared, but I think she's scared of what she saw beneath those layers.
Levels to this, you know what I'm saying? You be around a whole bunch of little YNs and be like, they'd be around a little kid like that. Baby school shooter. Like, oh shit.
Yeah. You gotta decompress.
God.
Yeah. That moment when she had that epiphany.
Uh-huh. No, right now, he does not want to see what she wrote down.
If you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see a cut down version of our reaction because we're only allowed to show you a limited amount of picture in picture. But if you want to watch the whole thing with us uncut, uninterrupted, head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/Syntell. Become a member of this channel. You'll get access to the full uncut reaction, but you will need your own Netflix, HBO Max, or Disney Plus subscription so you can open up each episode in an adjacent window to our reaction. We'll give you a little time with a small reference video at the bottom of the screen to help you sync up the footage. And it'll be like you're watching it with your favorite pals from the internet. Wow, that was really good. Two actors having a heavyweight fight. My goodness. From a child actor, no less. I know we're gonna dig a little bit deeper into the into some of the details of just the scene as a whole. Okay, so we got some really interesting questions. There's some cool dialogue that can go along with this, and I am definitely gonna be looking forward to what everybody's gonna say in the comments section regarding, you know, monsters aren't always these things that jump out of the closet with horns on and the boogeyman and ooga ooga. They're not always, you know, some kid dressed in black with a trench coat and a weapon. You know, monsters can be in things that look innocent, things that seem misunderstood. For me, what I pulled from this is that we got a chance to peel the layers back of what seems normal and see like the darkness that lies underneath it. My question that I have for myself and for you all in the audience as well is, even though I believe this child may be a monster, was he born a monster or was he created? And based off of either one of those answers, like what do you do to I don't know, do you seal that off? Do you talk to it? Do you change the culture? I really loved this episode. This is normally the one shot is been like this gimmicky thing, could have been gimmicky. I enjoy the artistry in it, but in this, it didn't overdo it in a way to be like, to make it self-aware. It felt more like a voyeur. It really did. It felt like we're just sitting here in this room while the psychologist breaks down Jamie to find out if he did it. And then then she rolls out. So I appreciate the artistry in the fact that it didn't make itself apparent. And I also really appreciate that these two actors just sat there and had a heavyweight fight in front of us. And that joint was incredible. There's definitely gonna be a lot more that we're gonna talk about, but I am curious what you thought about this, Rekkai.
I don't know. I guess I echo your same sentiment. The boy who played Jamie was magnificent in this episode, more so than what he was in the first two episodes. I also, you know, one of the things I noticed too was because the focus is back on Jamie, and not only for this therapist, who's doing an independent assessment, but also for us as an audience to evaluate what do we think about Jamie. Because, you know, you think about this, how big things play in the media these days, right?
Right.
And not everything that's in the media can be trusted. You know, because a lot of times they are more concerned with breaking the story and running the story first
Okay.
than the actual facts of the story. So a lot can be misconstrued when you don't have all the information. So at some point, this little boy's going to have to go before a judge and jury. And a lot of people already have their minds made up and probably know very little about what's actually the hell going on. You know, it's always been said too, especially in America, that, you know, most of the little monsters come from, you know, single parent households and this, and they're, you know, not affluent, they, you know, poor, what have you. I think this is special too because it shows the other side. And, you know, regardless of it being Britain, that he came from a seemingly loving two-parent household. You know, he wasn't into sports, so he wasn't like super aggressive at anything. And that his media or his limited understanding of the world kind of helped shape him into the monster that he is.
Okay.
And we also saw that too last episode with a broken home, a single parent household with Detective Bascom and his son, and them not having a real connection there because they, you know, and the same would be true of Jamie and his father, even though he is seeming close to his father. He doesn't, you know, it's the interesting thing. Adam and D.I. Bascom, not really close. D.I. Bascom does not understand his son in much the same way. So what Jamie is saying about himself, you could almost see that on Adam. Adam's self-esteem does not seem very high. We saw him actually get bullied in the episode. Him trying to tell his father, pull his coattails, and he's like, listen, I can't watch you blunder around here anymore. Like, you are so lost. You know, this dealing with, you know, Mean Girls High School, you know, you lost, dude. You know, and a lot of times you take, when you go into a place that seems familiar, even though it's unfamiliar, like high school, you take your former self in there. I used to run high school. Like, I was that guy in high school. So you walk around in your shirt all tight and, you know, your back arched and you walk around like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Back in my day, I used to run these hallways. Not that, you know, and, you know, you go in there and you know, and now I'm the police. I got a badge and stuff and y'all gonna talk to me because I was that guy. You don't understand what these kids is going through. There's, you know, it's a much, much different world from when, you know, the adults were there. And that depends on which group you were in. These kids like Jamie, Jamie's lost in the sauce, you know, and his self-esteem, the way he thinks about himself, like he said, they're 2 years younger. Jamie and Katie are 2 years younger than Adam. And they far, far gone. You know, this little boy, it's almost like this generation right now. They'll tell you in a heartbeat that, I remember my oldest son, he did something pissed me off real tough. I took his phone for a week. Because, you know, with each of my kids, I have to find a different way to discipline them. To get them to understand, you know, this is where I'm coming from, you know, and it can't be all, you know, brimstone and fire and brimstone, you know, like my dad did. It was his universal, you know. Gotta be different. My kids completely were destroyed when I took his phone because he was talking about his Snapchat count or some shit, was his streak was gonna go up, and I was like, I don't care. I'll beat the streak out of your ass. Like, I don't care about none of that. And their lifeline to the outside world is what did it for them. Like they love, people get on and comment on their posts, and how many times is there, they look at the analytics, they look at all of that as
validation.
That is what gives them validation. Yep. That's how that they know that they are somebody. Look at my streak. Look at how many times I've been not retweeted, but look at this and look at that. Where unfortunately adults, we kind of operate in the same vein sometimes, especially those who are completely tied to the economics of social media. It's kind of sad that these children who don't have a real grip on consequences, on right and wrong, on impulse control, are raised in this environment where everything is about instant gratification, and none of it's true. These you really think that if you got 20 million followers or subscribers, these are your friends? They're not your friends. They would love to see you burn and your downfall just as much as they like to see you up. They're not your friends. And a lot of these kids don't have any real concept of that. They're not like us. They wasn't. When I was little, you knew where everybody in the neighborhood was, because whose yard were all the bikes? All the bicycles was somebody. That's where everybody's at. That's the spot. If my parents told me I had to stay in the house, I would die. No, inside. You almost got to pull a gun on these kids and make them go outside. Go outside, touch grass. I dare you stay in the house. It's a completely different world. And for adults, it's kind of hard to fathom the type of world these children are coming into. They don't seem to be as resilient. As many qualities that they have that are different and seem to be far superior to what we grew up in. A lot of stuff that they're missing is like, what's that saying? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that these kids are missing is detrimental to their upbringing, because they don't seem to be nearly as resistant. You tell when these kids no, and that's like, that is soul crushing. No is like, why have you never heard that word? Success in life depends on how many no's you can get and how you can bounce back from it.
Right. All
you need is a yes, but y'all hear one no and y'all completely, go off the deep end. You melt. And
right.
It's a different world. So I'll get off my soapbox now. So.
No, I thought you brought up some interesting stuff, some interesting things. There's a brilliance to the writing of this show, and one of the things I noticed is, well, first off, we're looking at an extreme case. This is an extreme case of a child going to the steps of murder because they're having a hard time feeling included or having a hard time understanding their peer group. But there is a brilliance. There is a brilliance to the writing in the fact that even though we're getting an understanding of the why behind the choices this child made, I believe that the writers of this show are making a correlation that there are men who think like that think like children. And even though we're looking at these things,
say more.
Say more. Even though we're looking at these things through the eyes of a child, there are grown men that think like this. Grown, like adult 30-year-old men, 40-year-old men, like this. So there's a better, I think, for us, the viewers, I think it may be easier for us to digest the feelings of a child than it is to understand maybe the feelings of an adult who may be going through the same thing as well. So I do think that there is brilliance. There is something when he had those tantrums. It's one thing to have like a 13-year-old, like he says, I'm a 13-year-old kid and I made you scared. Imagine that being, a 25-year-old big grown man in his prime. Having that type of tantrum.
Who's been in the gym and had one too many espressos.
Exactly. Like this child made this grown woman flinch. Like if you take the actions that this child is making and you put that into the actions of a grown ass man, the context of this becomes a lot more terrifying. When she has that epiphany is great. And I I thought the epiphany was this little dude did this. And I'm looking at like the real true understanding of maybe not only just this child, but maybe as a piece of a society as a whole. Obviously, you know, this is an extreme case. I want to keep saying that not all men are going to go to these steps of rejection by picking up a knife and stabbing somebody or being violent. But we can't not look at the ugliness that this presents. And there's those moments that the kid had where he's like, are you even supposed to be asking me these questions? It's like, I feel like you can't ask me how I feel. Like that was brought up over and over again. The other doctor didn't say these questions. Like she was like, oh, I need to understand why you're doing these things. And there is something about, you know, people today, not just kids, but people. I know people that are in my age group that can't have a conversation unless it's, you know, unless it's a text sent from social media or from the Twitter or whatever the platform is, in order to kind of like get the conversation going. They're incapable of like having a conversation unless a social media device it instigates it. And here we have an adult and this child having these things, talking about feelings. I think that's fascinating, interesting. I think it was interesting how he was so obsessed with wanting to know what was written down in that book, not have a conversation. She was like, I mean, you can sit there and have a conversation and talk, but you don't want that. It's something about the power of text now. That's how we communicate now. People don't have phone conversations anymore. People rather text, you know. People don't want to talk about these kind of things. People would rather read an article about it instead of having like a one-on-one conversation about it. And it's off-putting for a lot of folks. It's off-putting for this child to have a conversation. How are you feeling? What made you feel this way? Have you ever called out the fact that he lied on his experience, you know, and then sit there and have a cool conversation about the truths of these matters? There is something to be said about when the scene first started and they're facing each other and the table is in between them. It kind of feels like a screen, and a lot of times when we're talking to people, there's a screen in between this conversation that I'm having with somebody. But as the scene unfolds and the proximity starts changing, and it's not like you have this thing in front of somebody as you're having this, you're actually having a one-on-one, emotional to emotional, looking into your eyes, reading body language type of conversation. And a lot gets lost in that because we can hide behind the screens. We can hide behind the distance. She was closing the gap. She definitely stumbled and fumbled a lot of times as she was closing the gap. But as the gap got closed, was getting closer to being closed, trust was actually starting to become established and gained. I thought that was really important because by the time we get to the end of the scene, he trusts her. Sherelle in the chat had said something I thought was very interesting, and that is that he ate the sandwich. You know, at the very beginning, the one thing that he laughed and clowned and was like, you know, I don't eat that because it's got a pickle in it. He trusted her to the point that he ate the thing that he claimed he didn't like. He was willing because he trusts her. That sandwich to me meant everything. And you can see it in the frame of the very last episode. You see the half-bitten sandwich because it was at that point where he could actually have a conversation, explain what it is that he's feeling, question some of the things, have a connection. But by then it's too late. She's gone, never to return again. And his fate is going to lie within the hands of the judge. That screen in between people can sometimes blur, consequences. It's a lot of people got a lot of Twitter fingers. People get really big and bold, in the comment section. It's a lot different when it's face to face, but when it was face to face, she was able to break him down, break down all of the resistance that he had. I think this episode was incredible, absolutely incredible. It asks a lot of uncomfortable questions. It makes me want to look at how we speak to one another, what we lose through proximity. What we gain through proximity. Realizing that that our actions through these screens have consequences. And one of the things that she asked him, what I thought was really important, is like, do you understand what death means? It's not like it's a video game. It's not like Mario Brothers and do and you can start up again. Like, she's gone. She's never coming back. And he may not even be in a space to even process that, because we're living through something that's not real. Anything else you want to add to this before I hop to some of the chat?
Yeah, you said a lot of interesting things, and I wish I was sitting here writing notes. Okay, so the first one, talking about 13-year-olds acting like this or whatever. And okay, I know what it was. I don't know if I understand what you were saying about the point of them showing this, the emotions and stuff like that, from the perspective of a 13-year-old child.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what the makers of this, the creators, were going for. Or they're just simply telling a story that's ripped from the headline. Only because I don't know if adults would look at this and see that 13-year-old in them. If they're 28 but still act like this 13-year-old, I don't know if they'd have the wherewithal to look at this and be like, damn, I act just like that little 13-year-old little boy. No, they're not.
Okay.
It'd be easy for us and probably for women to point out, you act just like that 13-year-old boy. Shut the hell up. I think I had a couple, 2-3 points. I'm gonna jump forward to one of the last ones you said.
Okay.
Him eating the sandwich. You said that was everything to you, and that the trust had been built up. I didn't see it as trust.
Okay.
I saw it as manipulation.
That he was manipulating her by eating the sandwich.
Yes.
Okay.
I think he didn't eat the sandwich. He took one bite. He took a bite and put it back down. And that was because he was so concerned on really, and he said at the end, do you like me? Because I want to see what you're writing. I need to know if what you are writing is in favor of me. Am I doing the right things to help you be on my side, to help you get me out of this? Like at the whole time, he's still saying that he didn't do it. I didn't do it. I asked her out, she rejected me. I'm not that desperate. I had the knife, but I just wanted to scare her. I just wanted to, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it. That video ain't real. That's fake news, boy. I'm just trying to get some understanding. I'm trying to get a little straightening. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to understand how you understand what's to be understood. And you still don't understand. He told her he hates lying. He told her that with his mouth. Right after he told her about all the ways he lies to get out of PE class.
Right. That's very true. Very true. Big facts.
Boy, what is you doing? He's trying to manipulate her.
Okay.
And I think that right there at the end, I know you told me you made this sandwich with your own 2 hands. I know the shit that I just did, the shit that I just said, you might be feeling some kind of way. How can I get you back on my side to do this? And remember, he ate the sandwich, and then she, like you said, she had an epiphany, and she's like, yeah, he did this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said he's got impulse control for whatever reason. He just told me he don't like her, but he asked her out, and then when she told him, well, this is gonna be our last session, he flipped out again.
Yeah.
That wasn't flipped out. It's not like they're best friends. It's not like he's gonna miss her. I need you to come back and talk to me. Do you like me? I need you to come back and talk to me. I need you to let my father know I'm not a bad boy. I need you to let them other people know I'm not capable of doing what this is. I need, for whatever reason, I need them to look at their video and not see the monster. I need them to see little Jamie, who just, he was just trying to feel some, little bitties. And, I think it was more manipulation than anything right there at the end.
I like that.
And I think that even though this is a story about a 13-year-old little boy, and you're absolutely right, that there are grown people walking around here. Do you understand? Do you realize that since we were young, there was always that one person in your family who wasn't like quite the rest of the siblings or uncles, aunties, or whatever. And, might you know, you go over to your grandmama's house and the one that stay in the back room in your grandmama's house, you'd be like, you know, y'all kids don't go back there because, you know, he's touched. He's something wrong with him. But it is more commonplace today for adults, grown ass people, well into their late 20s, late 30s, that still stay at home with their parents. I ain't going nowhere until my parent died because it's too much for me to get out in the world and try to, you know, buy my own car, buy my own house, do this, be responsible, you know, an adult. I just wait till my mama die and then I have this house or whatever. And that is far more commonplace than it should be. It's far more commonplace than it was when I was growing up. There's a lot of people out here scared of the world. And of course, I mean, the world is a hard, hard place. And now we are, the way that the rules and the way that income and everything keeps changing, you know, we are barely able to afford anything our parents have, you know, and it costs 7 times as much and we make, you know, 3 times less. You know, we make the same parents and same money, just a little bit more than what our grandparents made, but everything costs 10 times as much. The world is hard. And I think that because of that, the way that we are raising our kids is not teaching them so much to go out here and tackle the world. And you dictate your own destiny onto the world. We're letting the world dictate to you what you're gonna do with it. The world happens to you, not you happen to the world. And I think watching a little boy like Jamie is actually sad, but you know, with these kids are becoming too grown too fast because social media and the internet tells them. Like when she asked him, she said, "You ever seen a girl or whatever?" He's like, "Yeah, you know, I've seen some pictures." And he said, "But not porn, you know, everybody watch porn, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's seen that. That's nothing." I done seen all these adult situations, the stuff I don't understand and, you know, and think that storylines in them type movies is real life or whatever, you know. But I seen some pictures of some people I knew that changed. That was different. It's just, this is a weird exposition into the minds of children. And I think a lot of people are captivated with it because I honestly think a lot of people really had zero idea. You know, you hear about school shooters, you hear about these kids that bloop out, that crash out. But unless you're around the school system, you have no idea. I was around the school system for 19 years. I already know. However, I don't know. Because, you know, even though I have 3 teenagers, an 8-year-old, I've been out of the school system for 7 years now. Dude, these kids are different. If I went back into a classroom today, trying to be like, this is what I did back in 2018. No, not the same. And the only thing that might save me is I got 3 of them things at home.
Oh, yeah. I am curious what the chat is. I think the chat on this is going to be really interesting because it asks a lot of interesting questions from a production standpoint, from an artistic standpoint, from a story standpoint, from a societal standpoint. It's just a lot of interesting questions. I'm curious what you all think.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
Do you think, even as incredible as the dialogue, the repartee, because I didn't think that she was building trust so much as that she was building rapport to try to get the answers she needed.
Oh yeah. She was definitely doing that. Absolutely.
Do you think that this episode suffered, or was it just fine the way it was by not including D.I. Bascom and the police, that other side, by us seeing what's going on the other side? Like we're 7 months in the future of what happened in episode 1 and 2.
Right.
We only have 1 episode left.
Yep.
Like, do you have a prediction, or you know, or all the people we saw in episodes 1 and 2, we pretty much done with them? What we might see his father again?
Yeah. I think I think I'm glad that they did it one-on-one, because there's no distractions. It's just let's figure out, a little bit more to the why. I think the final episode, if I'm putting on my tinfoil hat, is going to maybe talk about the question of nature versus nurture. I really want us to kind of like look into like what is that his father may have done. I don't know, like what breeds, what borns this, what starts this. I think that's what they'll try to do, because I do think he's guilty. I hope they don't have like some aha moment and be like, oh, he really wasn't a killer and it was this thing. And I don't know. I would be disappointed if they did that, but more to dig just a little bit deeper into how this gets created. That's my tinfoil hat with it. And I think we're gonna need his family to kind of do that, because he certainly feels a certain type of way about his father. He's very protective about his father, very, very protective. And he doesn't want to be looked bad in front of his father. He seems to hold his father in a higher self-esteem, higher esteem, not self-esteem. So maybe look into the why on that. They didn't really I'd be curious to see, how he responds. He has a sister and a mother. And maybe if this is a thing towards the hating of women due to the misguided understanding of what it means to become a man or a young man, it would be interesting to see like what that interaction looks like with his sister and his mother as well. So maybe we'll get some of that. What do you think regarding like the finale?
Oh no, I was glad that D.I. Bascom and the police weren't in this episode. I think we needed time with Jamie to establish. Here's the thing: once they showed us the video, I really didn't have any doubt in my mind that he did it anymore. I was like, oh yeah, he did it. Yeah. So at that point, my mind switched to the why. Let's talk about the why.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, even if Katie was the bully, and she said some awful things to him, you're going to be a virgin for the rest of your life. Don't nobody want you, you little ugly ass little boy. Whatever she said, she did. And you can't victim shame her, because, it's very easy to say, no matter what they said, that don't mean that you start stabbing the shit out of people.
Right. Right.
And we don't know what pushes people's triggers. I think what I would be interested to see.
Okay.
Everything you just said was great. He keeps being worried about how his dad, like even when he was let off at the end.
Yeah.
Tell my dad I'm okay. Tell my dad I'm all right. You just brought up something interesting. How did his mom and his sister see him? Like, he wasn't concerned with how they feel about him, which is interesting. Like, he didn't even mention them.
Nah.
And what I don't want to see is that something comes up that he was abused as a child and his daddy was secretly touching on him or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, no, because I think that once you start putting those extra things in there, which they definitely could be in there, people are weird. But for the majority of the audience watching this, it takes us out of it, because then you're not able to see how you are screwed up and maybe missing all the red flags on how you raise a little monster because you're not as involved enough. You let them spend too much time in their phone and on social media, and that's what's raising them instead of you. So when you put some other stuff in there, like, oh, well, he was touched by his daddy, you'd be like, oh, well, then my kid's good then, because I don't do none of that or whatever.
You brought up that's very big. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, you like, you missed that your kid is becoming a monster, because they're like, no, then they had to have these extra things in there. That's what made them a monster. No, what made them a monster is because maybe you're not involved enough in your life. My kids would be like, they damn near sick of me, I'm involved. But I need to know that is my job as a father, to raise them to be good children. Now, your kids can do all sorts of stuff, and it's your job as a parent to watch out if they, start harming animals and burning ants with magnifying glass and stuff. you probably need to check in. You know, you think that, you know, and that's old school thinking too. That's, hey, my job is, you know, I keep the lights on, I keep food in the refrigerator, I keep a roof over your head. You know, as long as your teachers tell me your grades is good,
then we good.
Good. I'm raising a good, and you have no idea that your child is Dr. Frankenstein in their room, you know.
You wouldn't know. You would
Get
know.
out of my room, Mom.
Yeah.
It's my room. Not the hell it is. This is my house. I'll let you stay in that room.
Close doors in his house.
Take the doors off the hinges. Yeah. No more locked doors.
No more locked doors. Yo, you stupid for that. I know where you got that from. Okay, hold on. We got to wrap this up, man, because I know I want to get
this was hella serious. I had to laugh right there. This is hella serious now. I was like, shit, I'm getting ready to text my kids right now. Y'all okay? Y'all good? Like,
yo, bro, I'm about to be like, give my little dude up, be like, get him, give me a hug, man. You tripping? Hey, Teddy said real quick. He said if the parent, he said even if the parents isn't abusive, I think this is why parents/guardians need to watch how they behave or how they deal with their own emotions around their kids. Kids honestly use how they see you how they see you deal to process how they should deal. Frank said, he kept trying to attack her image after her death, felt like him looking for validation and sympathy for the murder. I thought that was interesting. Cheryl just said real quickly, the only way her behavior would have justified his actions is if she was stabbing him with the knife first and took from her and stabbed her in self-defense. Yeah, I mean, there's no validation for what he did to that young woman. I don't care what she said to him. And him trying to find sympathy for those actions is sick. We are gonna wrap this up. If you're wondering who it is that we're talking to off screen, members of the Patreon get a special section of our Discord where they get a chance to actually watch us do these reactions live. Now, this is definitely one of those type of reactions where you're probably going to want to see it on Patreon because there's not a lot of talking because me and Rekkai are busy processing. I'd say like the first 30 minutes we barely said a thing because so much stuff was happening, and if you want to get the context of why our faces scorched up and looked certain kind of ways, the Patreon will allow you to do that. Now, this conversation that we had, I promise you, me and Rekkai could probably keep going on and on with this for at least another 30 minutes. And if you enjoy that type of conversation and that type of insight, Rekkai's YouTube page is the place to go to because he offers that on a lot of different pieces of content that we love and enjoy. You need to do yourself a favor, head over there and hit that subscription button. Rekkai, tell the people how they can get in contact with you.
Absolutely. And, you know, in case it wasn't apparent, I do apologize. I am under the weather. However, I am here for you. Plus, this is just good. And we had to get this in.
Yeah.
By all means, you should come check out my media therapy deep dives on patreon.com or youtube.com/Newt from the Ville, NUPEFROMDAVILLE. Don't worry if I said it too fast, it's in the description. Whatever we watch, we try to use this. You heard a lot of that. We would try to, use this. But even more importantly, you always have to use this right here. Thanks, Chef.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you so much for hanging out with us. And we'll catch you for the season finale. All right, y'all. Take care.